So welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their backgrounds, their successes and their challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And today I'm delighted that we have back with us Pete Hughes, who's the CEO at Leeds Autism Services. So Pete, firstly, thanks again for coming back and talking to us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself and Leeds Autism Services to the audience, tell them all the wonderful things you do, that would be wonderful.
Thank you for inviting me again. Nice to get invited back. I can't have done that bad first time. So we are a charity. We serve a couple of purposes really. The main thrust of the business is providing day and outreach support for autistic adults. That tends to be on a one-to-one basis. And we have a mix of outreach where we go and meet people at the homes or in the community and work with them out in the community. And we've also got 2 bases that we have, because it's quite a high staffing ratio, because it's mostly one-to-one support. We tend to work with people who have complex needs, often at risk in some way, either through behaviour or risk of coming into contact with the criminal justice system, or risk of homelessness, family placement breakdown, things like that. And I suppose our key success in that area really is reducing those risks and getting people connected with the communities and integrated and included.
Brilliant.
So I think that's what we do sort of best. We've also got just one supported living service, single occupancy supported living service. We support a gentleman who's been with us for a number of years. The other side of the business is going out and raising awareness and increasing understanding of autism, what it is, how it affects people, what the barriers are. And the main aim of that really is to sort of reduce the barriers to autistic people living fulfilled and happy lives, really, I guess. So, and that's sort of really picked up over the last couple of years. So we've been going out and doing loads of talks and training sessions and things, which has been nice.
Wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. And we spoke last year. We were saying it's probably about 12, 13 months since we last spoke. I'm keen to know what's changed for you in the business since we last spoke.
Oh, well, lots. I think last time we spoke, we were sort of coming out the back end of the pandemic, I suppose.
Yep.
So I guess one of the main challenges for us has been getting everybody their support back to how it was. We did stay open during the pandemic, but we were only delivering about 40% of our face-to-face support. So getting that back on track has been a challenge. And I think at first, going into lockdown was probably easier than coming out of it. And getting people on board with just being involved with everyday life and doing fulfilling things again and rejoining the world, which I suppose has been the same for all of us. We spent a lot of 2022, 23 negotiating with the local authority, because we hadn't had a fee uplift for quite some time. And ours is quite an expensive service to run, but I will say it's very, very good value.
Absolutely.
But with it being one-to-one staffing, you sort of staff teams there's always more staff than the number of people we support, so it is expensive in that way.
Yeah.
So that was pretty stressful, but we got there. We got there in the end, and we were able to give. We've been able to offer our staff a comparatively competitive salary. So they still don't get paid enough in my eyes, but it's social care is adult social care, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we were very, very grateful for that. really. We've won an award.
Oh, well done.
Thanks. Um, yeah, we won in one category and got a special commendation in another at the Great British Care Awards.
Oh, fantastic.
So that were a good way to celebrate. Took a team of staff. It were the regional awards. So we took a team of staff down to that. And we went to the national awards in Birmingham. Sadly, didn't win at the national awards, but it was just nice to go out and celebrate with some of the people who work on the shop floor, so to speak.
Wonderful.
So they're big changes. Oh, I must drive everyone mad me with the amount of change I end up bringing in and my mad ideas. We've also started moving from paper-based record keeping to electronic.
Right.
So everything's gone online. So after the pandemic, because what used to happen was everyone used to travel in on Leeds City Council transport into our day service bases, and then a lot of the time they were just going back out again. So when we sort of reintroduced all that support, a lot of these people don't really need to come in on transport. It could be quite stressful for them. We can send staff out to meet them. So we've got a lot of staff now, or a high proportion of staff at any given time of the remote working out in community.
Right.
So we thought, right, they're going to have to be able to do everything, everything they need to do online. So that's been a big project. And we were looking at buying systems in, but they're really expensive. So we ended up building our own
Right.
based on Microsoft SharePoint,
Oh, well
which has
done.
been a learning experience.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I worked in IT a long time ago, and it's unfortunately I've never met an IT project that came in on time and budget. I'm afraid, but that's
No, I mean budget wise, doing it that way, it has
good.
saved us a lot of money. I've probably gained a few grey hairs, but I'm a bit of a tech geek anyway,
Brilliant. Yeah.
so yeah, I've quite enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but I don't know if anything is at this stage. So, but yeah, it's been nice actually. It's been because you always worry if things like that are going to be well received by your employees.
Yeah.
It is a big change.
Yes.
But yeah, they seem to have taken to it really well, which was
Brilliant.
yeah, breathed a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, great. Yeah, because that is quite a big change, isn't it? It's yeah, started to do that. And it's yeah, I have. I mean, did people have people picked up that and be comfortable with it? Because I'd imagine it's quite a different way of operating. And did anyone have any big challenge on the basis? I guess it's a little less engaged, is it? Maybe.
We've put quite a lot of effort in. I can't speak highly enough of our HR team
Brilliant.
because and our middle management team because they've put so much into making sure that people are getting time in the building around colleagues, but also doing a lot of checking calls and things with people and just
Great.
making
Yep.
sure that they're putting time aside for employees.
Yep.
Because I suppose when you go into more community-based work, that is the worry that people become more isolated. So we have tried to even that out a bit as
Yep.
far as we can. So yeah, recruitment has been really difficult. I mean, it has across I think it is across all sectors, isn't it, at
Yes.
the minute? But the social care sector, when supermarkets are paying more than social care providers can pay, it's been a big challenge.
Yes.
So we've put a lot of work into how we approach recruitment as well,
Yep.
because we can now pay a competitive wage. I cling on to a piece of wood when I say this, but we're onboarding at the moment. I think we've taken on 16, 17 new employees since March this year.
Yeah.
Only lost 3, so we're just about fully staffed.
Oh, well done.
We're nearly fully staffed. Our HR manager has set herself the challenge of being fully staffed,
Wonderful.
which is unheard of for a care provider.
Yeah. Goodness.
Anyone can, she can.
Brilliant. Uh, what would you say are some of the biggest things you've learned from the wins and the wins and the challenges? I think it's important to know what the learnings are from both. What are some of the learnings you've had over this last 12 months?
I think one of the big ones is around negotiating. Obviously, I mean, local authorities are cash strapped. It's not
Yeah.
ever going to be an easy negotiation. And I suppose we set ourselves when I came into post sort of 4 or 5 years ago. One of the sort of aims we set ourselves as an organisation was to put ourselves out there so people
Yeah.
have a good understanding of what we do and what we're about and who our beneficiaries are and who we cater to, which we achieve. So I suppose there's a lot about the importance of being able to measure the impact of what we do as a
Yeah.
charity and to
Yes.
present that. Because I think if we hadn't have done that work around impact measurement and value, we wouldn't have been able to negotiate
Yeah.
the uplift as we did. So
Brilliant.
yeah, weirdly, conversely, in terms of going back to recruitment, in some ways we made it easy. So we made it easier to apply for people to apply for a job, but we've made it more difficult to get to interview.
Yeah.
Which, when you're short staffed, that kind of feels counterintuitive, I guess. But it's had a really positive impact on the quality of new employees. We've got an absolutely brilliant. We've always managed to get good team members, but we have got a really good team at the moment.
Brilliant.
I think it's helped with retention as well.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been too easy to get in. It's people who really want to work for us who've applied and
Brilliant.
got
Brilliant.
jobs. Yeah, so a bit of grit your teeth there and hope for the best and see if it works out. But thankfully it did. So
But I think it's a good example of it's really important to be clear on, our vision, our values, our purpose, because if we get a match of those things with the people that come aboard, like you say, they're coming because they want to work specifically with us and for us, and therefore will stay. If we find people that are just looking for a job, then they'll leave to find another job, if that makes any sense.
yeah, it does, and it's the quality of the care and support that we provide is just so important to us. So we've never been a bums on seats kind of organisation, just get people through the doors for numbers. But yeah, making it more difficult when you're short staffed.
Yeah.
So it felt like a bit of a gamble, but definitely paid off. So
Brilliant. Brilliant, and obviously you got the award and the commendation. How good would you say you are good at how good you are at celebrating your wins, Pete, in general?
me personally, probably not. Focus on to my brain's always on the next thing.
Yeah,
I can think back to when we were sort of moving people out of the residential service that closed, thinking, oh, we'll crack out the champagne when we manage that, and then it's we'll get a fee increase, we'll crack out the champagne. We get to fully staffed, we'll crack out the champagne, and then crack out the champagne. It's always like, oh, we need to do this now. As an organisation, we do, we try. It's difficult because everybody's spread out working across the city, and it's one-to-one, and it's really difficult to get everyone in the same place at the same time. Even when we have staff training days, they work from 3 separate sites because it's such a big team. But we do try to, send out positive messages to people, put good reward schemes in for employees, do a lot to try and make them feel valued, and encourage them to reflect on the successes.
Yeah.
I think in care in particular, people want to be fixers, problem fixers. So, and I've just said I'm guilty of it. So it's always on to fixing the next problem and not looking back at where the successes are. So we do try and kind of remind people regularly of what successes they've had and what a difference they've made to people's lives. Really,
Great.
we're quite good at celebrating in that way.
I think it's really important, Pete, because it as I say, that too many people I meet do look at what's next. That they say great, but what's next? But it is about, for me, locking in that we're doing a great, we're doing a great job. We are, we have, because in the difficult times we need to draw on that, personally and emotionally, to be able to say, yeah, this is tough right now, but look, we're doing great things. And if we don't, I always like it a bit to a bank account. You can't withdraw anything till you've deposited it. So depositing some celebrations of some good thoughts does help when maybe the tough times come.
Yeah, that's what we hope for, really. And I think morale feels, even though it's been a difficult 6 months because we have been short-staffed prior to the recent flood of new recruits.
Yes.
But morale's actually stayed pretty good despite that, which is a good sign. So yeah, I do kind of hope that people genuinely feel valued, because we really do value our employees. So yeah,
that comes through from, I remember from last time and today, that comes through. And it creating that environment where people do feel valued is a great thing to do, as you say, because people will stay where they feel valued, where they're both giving and feeling valued. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Now, you probably remember last time I asked you about any favourite quotes or sayings. So I'm going to see if you've picked up any more, or is there any ones you find yourself using at the moment?
Oh, have I got any favourite quotes or sayings at the moment? I can't remember which ones I told you last time, Chris. I think one of the ones that I've used most recently in the last 3 years is prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Which seems to have stood us in good stead, really. There's a few. They're all. I'm pretty sure I said these last time, but the ones I like. I think one of my favourites at the moment is autism's not a processing error; it's a different operating system.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like that. There's been a big sort of swing, really, in how autism's viewed and presented. So compared to 5 years ago, where you'd never really hear phrases like neurodiversity and neurodivergent.
Yes.
Over the past 2 or 3 years, there's been a massive swing.
Yes.
Towards that, which is why I think I like that quote so much, because it sort of captures that whole movement.
Yeah.
Really, and I think it's really empowered a lot of autistic people as well, and is driving a lot more interest. We get a lot more interest now from businesses and public services wanting to learn about autism and how to make their spaces more inclusive. That's increased probably threefold in the past 12 months. So
brilliant.
Yeah, there does seem to be a lot more interest than there ever has been in the past.
Yes, it seems to be. It did seem to be a more common topic for, in general discussions. In fact, we one of the coaching topics we had last week as a group of coaches was, how do you coach different different people, and it's quite important that, because we do have different clients with different different ways of looking at things, and it's really important that we're able to be flexible enough to work in the way that the person that we're working with best learns, best develops their businesses.
Yeah, and I think, any business worth an house is going to see the benefits. I suppose it's like any other type of diversity in it, but when you've got a diverse and neurodiverse workforce, there's a lot of benefits to be gained.
Yes.
So we've probably got more neurodiversity in our workforce than at any point in the past ourselves, which is great, because that's what we should be doing as an autism provider.
Absolutely. No, that makes absolute sense. And what else have you learned about yourself over the last 12, 13 months, Pete?
Ooh. What have I learned about myself? That I'm probably neurodivergent myself. I don't know in what way. And I've kind of learned that, I suppose, over a long period, and I've thought about it quite a lot. And I don't know if I am, because I'm not diagnosed with anything, and I probably won't go and try and get diagnosed with anything. One of my colleagues who I train with, she's autistic, and she said, "Are you autistic?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she went, "Oh, you are." I don't think I am. I've got a lot of traits of ADHD, and I've realised that probably benefits me quite a lot at work because of the way I work.
Yep.
And the sort of creative side of things, and the probably quite annoying desire to always be pushing forward. But from a business point of view, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think especially over the last few years, which have been difficult for everyone.
Yep.
It's been very useful to be always looking forward and always looking at the nice thing. It must do everyone else's head in.
Fantastic. And looking forward, what does the future look like for you guys, and what challenges do you think you might be facing, if any?
Well, we're really excited at the moment because we've been in crisis management mode really since the pandemic. So prior to the pandemic, we had all these plans of things we were going to achieve, which, to be fair, we managed to achieve a lot of them. But I suppose for the first time since I've been in post, we're able to really look at the future and what it looks like, and how we grow, and how we meet, the needs of autistic people in the city. So yeah, it's exciting. So what we're looking at now, because we rent one of our buildings, but because we often have people supported by us we support people on a long-term basis.
Yeah.
So we need to open another base, and we need to buy rather than rent.
Yes.
Our next property, I'm quite keen on building the assets of the charity, because I think it offers us security. So we've just started looking at commercial properties, which is
great.
quite exciting. So I need to, before I carry on with that, Tracy, the chief finance officer, I've asked her to look at what we can actually afford.
Yeah, makes sense.
Before I get too carried away, we have just had we pre-pandemic we did an annual, it's like an autism convention. It's like
Right.
a mini conference, but it's free to attend.
Yep.
It's aimed at autistic people,
Yep.
their families, professionals. So we did that. We did the first one post-pandemic last June. That were a ticketed event. So we only had about 100 people there because when we were planning, we still weren't sure whether there'd be restrictions coming back and
Yes.
things. This year we were able to make it drop in, open to everyone again.
Yep.
That was really exciting. We held it in Leeds Playhouse. I think
Oh,
we got
right.
about 500 people
Oh,
through the door
fantastic. Fantastic.
on the day. So we're starting planning next year's already.
Brilliant.
Because we think we can make it even better
Yep.
now we've got more time. So we're doing that with in a steering group with other people who cater to, and other organisations who cater to autistic people.
Brilliant.
So that's exciting. We are also looking at building on the electronic thing. So the health and safety stuff is sort of part way there
Yep.
to all electronic recording, implementing a new HR electronic system.
Yep.
So doing more work on that. And at the moment, we are doing a lot around quality and making sure that the service is as good as it can be for the people who we support. I mean, it's not one to blow my own trumpet, but we are good at what we do.
Yep.
But we can be better.
Yeah.
Can always be better.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we're doing a lot of work on inclusion and getting the people who we support more involved with the running and decision making
Yep.
of the organisation
Brilliant.
and joining in on events and planning events and things like that. So
Brilliant.
that's exciting stuff.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And obviously alongside the conferences, any new initiatives, sort of external initiatives that we should be looking out for that you might be launching this year?
Well, we've got another event on in July. That is a plug it here, 28th of July up at Leeds Armories
Brilliant.
with the Canal and River Trust. It's the third year we've done this one, and it's a autism learning disability and neurodiverse friendly waterfront event.
Oh, lovely.
So there is horse performances, canoeing,
Oh,
there's
wow.
a taxi, but we make it all accessible and
Oh,
inclusive people. So we're looking forward to that. We are hopefully there's an organisation, I don't know if you've heard of Reed Recruitment Agency.
yes. Yeah.
So they've got a scheme that they're contracted to deliver by DWP called Reading Partnership, which is about getting disabled people into work,
Brilliant.
doing job coaching and things like that. So we're just in the process of picking up a contract with them to deliver coaching sessions for
Yeah.
autistic people who are looking for work. So if that comes off, that'll be our first bit of commercially funded
Oh, fantastic.
work, really. So that's due to run, I think, until next autumn, and then there's a bigger contract that we're hoping to get that runs till the following year.
Oh, fantastic.
So a good opportunity there.
Oh, fantastic, Pete. We obviously wish you best of luck with winning those and delivering those. And the waterfront event sounds really interesting. It's that I think might be a couple of people I know might be interested in that. So I'll make sure I keep an eye. Will that all be on your website?
It is on the website. It's currently under latest events, but we'll be putting it on the front page in the next week or so. So
Brilliant.
keep an eye, and it's on our social media pages.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much, Pete, for your time again. It's really fascinating. It's great to see that you're moving things forward. And clearly the awards demonstrate how great you are at what you do, and how much help you're giving the local community. And for anyone that's watching that might want to get in touch with you or the organisation, what would be the best way to do so?
the best way probably is through our website. So there's a contact us page on the website. Fill in a short form.
Yep.
That gets sent to a few of us. We normally respond really pretty quickly. So we normally respond within 5 working days. But we are here to offer help, advice. Our thing is to improve the lives of autistic people and increase autism understanding. So yeah, we're very happy when we get inquiries.
Brilliant. Well, Pete, it'd be great to catch up in another 12 months or so and just see what the next stage of the development is with you guys. And again, thanks again so much today for the update.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers. Thank you.